Oh, good morning, YouTube. Hold on, let me pause the fairy eye appearance. Boy, had, you know what I'm saying? It's childhood favorite right there. But what's good, YouTube? So this morning, it is about 6:20, something like that. We are going to STX training. This is day one of STX training. The two classes I have today are, I think, BMW 101 and I think the 3Ps of a high-performing shop. So it's at the Opryland Hotel. This is a $3,000 training seminar that our school paid for us to go to. We are excused from all classes in school and work today because we are attending this training. So I am very excited to share this experience with you guys. It's going to be a fun day. It's going to be a long day because we're all the way here we're supposed to be there 6:37 to 6 o'clock, really 7:30 because that's when dinner ends, but I don't think you have to stay for that. Even if you do, I'm probably not going to. I'm probably going to bring it onto the house. But yeah, this is day one. We're going to be doing this for 3 days in a row. So I'm going to vlog each day in a different vlog for y'all. But appreciate y'all for all the love and support, man. We just hit 400 fucking subscribers, man. SF Gang, we on top, man. It's a dream come true, man. We're going to keep going up, keep grinding, keep locking in. I know I ain't been posting that consistently. I'm about to get back on my grind. I apologize. Life has just been kind of boring, and there's really not really much that I can vlog for y'all, but I'm gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? That's what content creators do. We figure it out, we get the vlogs done, we get the content out there. But as y'all know, man, SF Gang, we on top, and let's get into the action. All right. Oh shit. Damn, they my bad, bro. Oh God. Bro, this ain't even, they got an indoor water park in here too. You do? Yes.
Just imagine what's mine and I should go to which class to go to. That's gonna be stressful. Okay.
Ken was a shop owner who took Tom under his wing. Ken saw something special in the young Volkswagen enthusiast who was looking for a path in life.
Got to work with Ken, and he, believed in me enough to give me a chance to buy the business from him. And Ken, my mother, my father, of course my wife Christy, they all believed in me and helped me, encourage me to be able to take this step.
Tom and Christy raised their children while growing the business. Today, Christy works behind the scenes in accounting and purchases. His daughter Samantha is the head service advisor and does marketing for the business. And if you look closely, you'll see evidence that a third generation family is growing up in the business.
We have Lily, my granddaughter, so she stays with us at work here twice a week. She's our service office. And we have John, our service advisor, and Kylie, our CSR here.
Looking at Cheers today, it's easy to imagine success came easy.
There was a lot of stresses. There was times where I knew he was ready to throw the towel.
We have a technician who is specialized in the Mercedes side of things. We have technicians that focus on BMW.
Those stresses are ones many shop owners share. A former automotive tech or service manager becoming a boss.
It seems like there's not a lot of people coming into the business that have the management business background.
And that learning curve can be steep. Realizing that early on, Tom reached out to other shop owners, business coaches, and training resources for help.
Starting off with the basics of learning the financials. What are your numbers? What are your goals? How to determine if you're being profitable.
Understanding business, marketing, Recruiting customer service, in addition to keeping up with vehicle technology, is far more than one person can handle. That's why in 2022, Tom closed his business and brought his entire team, every employee in his shop, and their significant others to STX in Orlando.
I think it's really important to have our whole team there with us for that training experience. But in addition to that, we have that team building that we're doing this as a team and as a family.
I mean, it has to be your family, right? You're here more than you're at home. So we got good people in. We care about them. We care about their families.
That commitment to the team, family, pays dividends that go deeper than the dollars. Technician Ralph Asher is certified in EVs. In fact, he bought his own electric vehicle and has taken it on a road trip from Allentown, Pennsylvania, here to STX in Nashville.
Having the experiences of driving it, trying to charge it, trying to do everything my customer is going to be trying to do with that car.
That boy
Gives me the
T-Bone.
insight to be able to say, well, that's kind of normal. I've experienced that myself, that sort of thing. Or for me to be able to say, now that's not normal. That's something that I really should be looking into.
I am very excited for STX 2024 to learn more about marketing, more about the service advisor role, how to use technology in the service advisor role. That's one of the classes that I'm taking this year.
Well before heading to Nashville, Shearer's customers receive notifications that they'll be closed for training as an entire team. And not only do their customers understand, they benefit.
The benefit they get as a customer for us not being here for those 2 days.
First of all, let's thank Tom Shearer and company for that. It was a great video. Thank you so much for being here and really sharing your passion as we have, certainly for training, as well as everybody else is here. So, first of all, this is, without a doubt, the industry's largest training event. Thanks to all of you. When you take a look at what we've seen over the last, let's say, 6 summits, we basically started out very small, now built into this. You can look for the C2C here. Tremendous amount of basically, certainly technicians, shop owners, especially ones that closed their entire shop and brought over 50 customers that basically brought everybody here. So really want to thank you for that. And I think importantly, when you look at this class, 398 classes, right? The first one that we had back in 2009, we had 50. And so this is what it's grown. That talks a little bit about the technology, right, that's being basically deployed in these vehicles today. And making sure you're able to repair the cars that are coming into your shop today and solely ones for tomorrow. And you think about, from the standpoint of 178 trainers, I had the opportunity to talk to them. They are best in class by far. Talking to them last night, excited about it. You're in for a real treat with them. They are so knowledgeable and capable, master techs. They know their basically subject better than anybody else that I know. And here, look at the 3,400 attendees, right? 3,400 attendees, 40% higher than we basically had in the last one in 22. 365 supplier partners partnering with us because they share the same passion that we all share, which is the passion for training. And that's why we're all here for the next 4 days. And Worldpac is sponsoring 150 high school students. Obviously, we know there's a shortage of technicians in the industry. We want to get them there trained in, get them excited about the industry. So again, the history, obviously going back from the first one in 2009, 300 customers were there. Here we basically have over 3,400 attendants. So it's really exciting. So I want to thank basically a number of groups here before I get started on giving you a little bit about the industry. Number one, the instructors I mentioned you, experts in their field, no doubt about it. Our suppliers, world-class OEM and aftermarket manufacturers in the world. And your hosts, 175 Worldpac and Advanced team members here to ensure that you have a great event. That's really important to all of us here. And certainly for myself, our customers definitely best in class, your commitment to training, the vision you have for your business and growing your business. I want to thank you for partnering with us to be here. This is really important to all of us here. And when we think about, kind of when we think about the years of service that we did, look, we started STX in 2009, but this year we have our 25th anniversary for the Car Quest Technical Institute and the World Pack Training. We've been doing this for 25 years. So it tells you how long we all basically understood the importance of training and the importance of what we basically saw as more and more technology is being deployed into these vehicles, whether it's ADAS, electrification, we go down the list there. Really important. Now, what I want to do is I want to jump into a little bit about the industry. And so I have a bunch of slides. I'll give you a takeaway, 1 or 2 points on each slide. I'm going to go through them quickly. When I get you ready, I know you're trying to be quick. But I think importantly, I just want to make sure that everybody understands this industry is stronger than ever, vibrant, recession-proof, critical to the economy. The next 5 years is going to basically be greater opportunities than we have seen in the last 5 years. And that's really important. And we're going to get into the details of why that's the case. So we're positioned for a great opportunity in the industry. And most importantly, we're here to train over the next 4 to 5 days and basically make sure that we get everything right. So again, we're going to start off here looking at the economic basically forecast here. Again, the economy, as we all know, continues to grow. Really excited about what we're seeing there as well, and the forecast is showing more of that, right? So, robust economy, okay? Inflation, finally, stabilizing. Inflation has been a bear over the last couple of years, over 7%, right? And now it's basically stabilizing down. This has a big impact. Everybody's felt it, and the cost of food, everything. So inflation is coming down. That has to do, of course, as well as pricing. So the important piece of all this, stabilization. That's what we always want. And the Fed is obviously dealing with that to keep that in check. The next one we talk about is the aftermarket macro drivers. I talked about the GDP growth, of course. The forecast is looking really strong. And inflation dropping down to 2.2%, which, as you can see, has been that way in basically years. So that's an important piece of what we're seeing as well. So that's stabilized, and that's what really matters to all of us here. The other one, the unemployment rate, right? The strength of the economy, right? Unemployment rate is basically lower than ever. So what's the issue there? We don't know. What is the challenge that we've seen? By the way, we've seen that same challenge for the last 30 years in this industry, is the shortage of technicians in the industry. So I applaud all of you that are here who are learning more and more about the business and learning more and more about the complexity of the technology that's being deployed. You're here, you're the future of it all. And that's a really important part of what we're seeing here as we go by. And so for the next one, we talk about the prices in the auto industry, right? And there's just a few call-outs here, quickly. Motor vehicle insurance, what are you seeing? You're seeing a lot of distracted drivers basically texting and doing whatever. Accident levels are up, insurance rates are up 20%. The one that's highlighted, motor vehicle maintenance and repair, up 7.1%. That tells us that there's a lot of elasticity, that can be passed along into the industry there. But that's stabilizing because what we saw is based upon the inflation rate, right? So that was driving most of that there. And then when you look at new vehicle costs, up 1%. Of course it's only up 1%. They were already up 24% from 4 years ago. And we'll get to that here in a minute there. So again, all-time low unemployment. You can see the forecast. Believe me, they were excited to get out.
Perfect. Yeah.
There's legitimately a difference between an 06. An 06 3 Series could have been an E46 convertible, or it could be an E90 anything, E90, 91, 92, 93. Does that make sense? There's big differences. Then the reason that we burned through the F chassis so fast is because they just started making up new models. All right, we used to be an odd number car company. Everything we had was a 3 Series, a 5 Series, a 7 Series, an X5, an X3. Now we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, X1, X2, X3, X4, X5, X6, X7, X8, and then we just have an X. Just an X. Nobody knows what it is. It doesn't know what it is either. It's just an X. Okay? But they also have an XM of that car. And it's hideous. The tailpipes, they took a playbook from GM, right? So the new Chevrolet trucks, the tailpipes look like HDMI ports. They turn them sideways and cut them in half. Okay? That's all fun and games, but we're just getting warmed up here. You start moving into 5 Series, the older, and this is old at this point because the E60 is 4 chassis back at this point. That's an old car, even though we're still working on them. But as far as I'm concerned, that's a dinosaur.
I've noticed with all the numbers, 0 is always sedan, 1's a wagon, and so on. What are terms? Because F87 is a coupe, but the 2 represents a coupe as well. So what would that be?
I caught the first part of it.
You know how, for example, F32 is a 4-series coupe?
Correct.
What's an F87? Just know the last number is always one of the...
It used to be. So BMW breaks the rules a lot. We're going to talk about that in a minute too. So his question is, he noticed that the designator at the end, like you see how we have a 90, 91, 92, 90, right? That's not a hard and fast rule, just like the number on the back of the car used to mean something. When you bought a 335, it's because it was a 3 Series with a 3.5 liter. That's not what it is anymore. So they kind of move stuff around. They're breaking the rule with that currently, especially now that we're in the late G's and the U's. F95, the X5M, like you gave it its own chassis designation and there's no difference between it and F15 other than the engine. So they're just burning through numbers at this point. And it's because they keep making these submodels. They think BMW has decided, their marketing department has decided they need to sell a car to everyone. We all know that's a terrible idea. There are people that should and should not own BMWs, right? Because there's one thing on a BMW that works without fail on every model car. It never fails. Does anybody know what that is?
The blinker?
You've been hanging out with the wrong crowd, sir. The one thing that doesn't break is there is a module in the driver's seat. You will never find it on any wiring diagram. It is the pickpocket module. Every mile that you drive it, it is slowly reaching its hand into your back pocket and pulling your wallet out. That is the only thing that never fails on any BMW. Everything else is subject to break. Okay? See what I said? It's not good humor, but it is humor. Okay? So as we move into it, I can remember a time when this car came out and it was the most hated vehicle on the street. Now, who has worked on E65 7 Series? Now, let me ask you guys a question. Knowing what we know about the F01 and the G11, how bad of a car was that?
Well, they're a rolling dumpster.
No, they're great. That is the most reliable 7 Series that they produced in the modern era. Yeah, but they're a good dumpster.
The new one is hideous.
The F01 car, F01, F02, which is your regular wheelbase and long wheelbase car, those cars are rolling dumpsters, but they're on fire in a pool of gasoline. There's just so many things, but they're cool cars, right? That's what we work on. Okay? So as we move in, we started adding models. We had the X1, the E84. Does anybody know anything special about the F48? Does anybody know anything about that car? I can tell you it's not a BMW. It's a Mini. Wait a minute. Didn't we buy Mini in 2001 just so we never had to turn an engine sideways in one of our cars? Imagine my surprise. There I am, minding my own business. It's 2017. One of these rolls in. I pop the hood. And I went, that's broken. It's not supposed to point that way. The Mini is, I refer to it as the Saab of the modern world. The people that drive Minis are a different breed, right? They are. They're kind of like a cult. They love those cars. They're not the same customer as BMW. And driving
They're
a
mentally
Mini
unstable.
doesn't do the same thing as driving a BMW. So the F48 is basically a Countryman on steroids. It is a Countryman on steroids. Okay, they have all the same problems because they have the same engine, the same trans, the same rear diff.
All right, YouTube. So first class is over with. We are going to the second class, and the second class that I am taking is the 3 Ps of a high performing shop. So we're gonna take those, and we're gonna see what those have in store for us. And yeah, man, let's get to it.
Oh, thank you. Jeff is on it for me. Okay, there we go. Michael, he is the author of the E-Myth and E-Myth Revisited. If anybody read that book, those books, they're great. If you have not read them, I highly recommend it. But he just talks about when we go into businesses for our own, to do our own thing, to have. How many of you thought when you were going to open a shop, you're going to have more time? Yeah. How many have more time? No. Okay. Eventually you got there, right? But it took a little bit for sure. So he also said if your business depends on you, you don't own a business, you own a job. If the business depends on you, you don't own a business, you own a job. And it's the world's worst job in the world because you are working for a lunatic. You're working for your own person, your own crazy person. And my goal is to help you figure out how to get out of doing your job and actually running the business. And so there's a couple things with that. First thing you want to do is you just want to get, and that's why the class is here, is 3 Ps, policies, processes, and procedures. And I'm going to help you kind of understand not only the importance, but what they look like. I'm going to give you some samples of what they are. I'm not here to write, I cannot write you policies and procedures. Every shop is unique, every shop's different. There is a seat up here and over here if you like. It's a full class, that's awesome. The problem with a full class is you can, like during the break, you can see how many people can come back. So I'm going to hope that you all come back. But the policies and procedures, and that is just so important. So I'm not here to actually teach you those policies and procedures. I'm going to tell you what they should be because every business is going to have their own. They're going to be very unique. They're going to be very different. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some examples. I'm going to give you some ideas of how to create those policies and procedures, and hopefully you can take some of what I've learned or what I've taught you and learned and take it back and actually put it to work. At the end, I'm hoping to have the time to really sit down and share with you one way, just one way, but it happens to be my favorite way. You can take these policies and procedures and actually implement them into your business so that you can not work in your business, you can be working on your business. And so that's my goal today, and I hope that that's why you're here in this class. So again, when I've learned how the implementation of the 3 Ps of a high-performing shop will help your shop run smoother by saving your time and your resources. And you're going to have some fill in the blanks in this book, and I do that to keep you engaged. Towards the end, we're going to have less, but I think these are the fill-ins or the keywords that I really want you to do. Yes, sir. Golly, that's what Jeff was motioning over to me. There we go. Okay, no more. I had a little bit of technical difficulty last class. This is getting a little worse. So again, here we go. We're going to save time and resources. The goal is to provide a roadmap to your daily processes and procedures. And and basically the operations. The next goal is to improve your shop efficiency and productivity. Have your shop run more efficient and more productive. And I'm not talking about your technicians, I'm talking about your business itself. I don't like how this is changing. Okay. You're going to free up the owners and managers feeling like they have to micromanage the employees or every aspect of the business, but basically micromanaging the employees. Has anybody ever worked for a micromanager? Is anybody a micromanager themselves? You're gonna fess up and admit, okay, yeah, there's usually a few hands in there. It's not fun. It takes time, it takes resources, it takes energy, it takes emotion. It's hard micromanaging. So our goal is to figure out how we can not have you micromanage. First thing you have to do is you have to be identify your system. And the system is the threat, basically the set of the 3 Ps that the organization can use to achieve the objective. So we're going to understand what the system is and then how those 3 Ps falls into it. Okay, that one I took out, so ignore that one now. So again, remember I said 2 months ago, I'm like, I don't really think that that's really that important, so I took that out. The thing about a system is the only way to attain the results that you really want is that you have to be consistent. You have to have consistency. Once you identify your systems and your policies, you're going to be consistent. And this is all going to tie together in just a few minutes. You're going to create routines within your system. They're going to be measurable. There's a saying, it's been around in automotive and in business itself, is you cannot measure, what you don't measure is Tom, so help me if I forget something, but when you walk out to do the check inspection, you're taking your tablet, you're going out and you're doing things in a certain order because it makes it more efficient. They may do a little different. I start with a picture of the license plate. I come around, I take the picture of the VIN, the VIN plate. I take a picture and then at that point I walk around the vehicle, do a video walk. Video walks are really helpful because as I learned the hard way, when you do a video walk around the vehicle, if there's a dent or a ding, the light will ever slightly change on the video as you walk by. It's a little helpful hint there, I learned the hard way. So we do a video walk around there. I get in the vehicle, I take a picture of the dashboard, check to make sure there's no lights on. Before I even start, as I start the car, the check engine light was on when it came in our vehicle, how that goes. Yeah, exactly. So I do that and do the mileage, and so we do it in a particular order. And the reason we do that, the order is so helpful on a check-in procedure is because it's going to be consistently done the same all the way around. Now, somebody may come in and go left to right, or somebody may do the inside and then come around and do the backside, but as long as they're doing all those steps in a particular order or an order that works for them, but all those steps have to be matched. All those pictures have to be taken, the video has to be taken, mileage, etc. Parts acquisitions, core and part return procedures, how those happen. You fill out the RMA or whatever they're called, different things, but RMAs, you put it on this shelf, you do this, you do that, you put that form in here, etc., etc. So those procedures are very, very important. So, in summary, the system itself, the business system itself contains starts off with the system, then you have policies, processes, processes, and procedures. So we got policies, processes, procedures, 1, 2, 3 in that level.